You should actually care, especially as a Canadian, about Zohran Mamdani most likely becoming the next mayor of New York City. And I'm gonna tell you why. Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic Socialist candidate, beat out Andrew Cuomo, the man who said, "I'm not perverted, I'm just Italian." Honest to God, I genuinely thought he would win in New York City after saying that. To be the nominee for the Democratic Party's candidate, the New York City mayor. His policies range from freezing rents to city-owned grocery stores, a $30 minimum wage, a flat 2% tax on people earning $1 million or more, which doesn't sound crazy, but it absolutely is. I believe that it isn't raising the income tax percentage. It's almost a wealth tax, saying if you make $1 million or more a year, you have to pay $20,000 or whatever 2% would be, which I don't think has ever been done before, but why not? I'm in favor of it. Anyway, to get to the actual point of this video, the reason that everyone, including Canadians, should care about Zohran Mamdani winning is because of capital flight. Hudson make a video without mentioning World War II Impossible Challenge, but post World War II, every country had really high tax rates. And the thing about every country having really high taxes is that it diminishes the value of tax havens, so people end up just paying higher taxes. That's why in the years after World War II, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, the economy was the best it's ever been. Inequality was down, growth was high, you could work a job and feed a family, all those good things. But starting mainly in the 70s and continuing in the 80s, ever since then, countries have started to lower their tax rates more and more and more and more and more. Now, despite what communists and socialists believe, if you raise taxes in Canada, you will see investment go down. Capital flight is a real thing. You have to be realistic about the fact that if the United States is currently killing themselves by cutting taxes a bunch for wealthy people and corporations, cutting welfare for the poor, and taking out trillions of dollars in debt, companies are probably going to push off investing in Canada and just kind of stay in America for a bit. You know, why would I put money in Canada when I can just stay in the United States and enjoy a much lower tax rate? Typically speaking, the best solution for this has been global minimum corporate tax rates. So I'm begging you, please stop thinking about politics as strictly Canadian or strictly American, especially if you're looking at an issue through an economic lens. What America decides to do with its tax rates heavily impacts what Canada and the rest of the world has to do. Say what you want about billionaires of the past like Rockefeller and Carnegie, and even Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, but reading into them, they were actually, honestly, pretty good people. Carnegie genuinely believed that he could give welfare to the poor better than the government. He did think that he was better and worked harder and was smarter than poor people, but the main reason he thought he was smarter than most people is because he tuned into this channel's Canada Day live stream happening on July 1st, so that's why he was better. So if you want to be better like him, you better do that. And he joined the Discord, which, if you've seen me before, you should probably just join already, all right? I'm in your inbox. I'm in your notification. I'm in your home screen for a reason, my man. But at least Carnegie thought he was smarter in a paternalistic way, as opposed to Elon Musk, who kind of does it in a poor people or barely even human way. Modern capital, modern billionaires don't have any allegiance to any one country and don't feel any moral obligation to give back to the poor in the same ways. Wealth inequality is getting like desperately bad. And I'm absolutely still a capitalist, but to still be some sort of right-wing libertarian who thinks taxes should be even lower than what they are right now, in my opinion, kind of just reads like you're in a car that's about to drive off a cliff and you're like closing your eyes and covering your ears being la 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 la. Something does need to be done to mitigate wealth inequality before like revolutions start happening and ultimately people start dying. And whether you like it or not, the policies of an FDR worked better at addressing this problem than the policies of a Donald Trump. But just as much when the United States lowers its tax rates and then the rest of the world feels like it has to as well to stay competitive, when the United States raises its tax rates and actually takes the brave step of doing something, even if it makes investing in America not as attractive in the short term, then number one, a lot of companies will move and investment will flow into other countries. No matter what anyone says, this will happen, which is especially good for any modern, well-developed economies with an educated workforce that are near the United States of America. But number two, and most importantly, if one economy decides to take a step against capital and moneyed interests, then that means that other places can start doing that too without so much of a worry of other companies leaving. Now, I don't agree with all, or even if I looked into them fully, most of Mamdani's policies, but I still absolutely would have voted for him. That's not true. I would have voted for Brad first because I like the way he talks, and when I was listening to him on the debate stage, he talks like the most New York guy ever. I love him. Even though I am a capitalist, I'm not blind. Something does need to be done about wealth inequality. Not only is it horrible for societies, but even if you want the best economy possible, you should be opposed to massive amounts of wealth inequality. Do I think that rent freezes along with most other price controls are the best way to lower rent prices? Absolutely not. Do I think that a $30 minimum wage is like kind of crazy? Absolutely. But even if these policies do flop, it still makes my country and their country better off. The main message of this video is for Canadians and also Americans, frankly anyone who lives in a Western country. Wealth inequality is a global issue, so try to stay tuned into movements that will push forward the willingness for other places to create a more equal economy and in the long run, a more more stable one. But also try to stay tuned by subscribing, but especially joining the Canada Day stream on July 1st and joining the Discord. I'm always in there playing Putt Party or Mexican Uno with the boys. So if you want to ask me some questions, that's the best way to get in touch. Join the Discord, tune into the live stream July 1st. July 1st live stream, Canada Day. Woo!
star, 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 star.